This is the entrepreneur episode of CDF Threads, and we're talking with Mr. Jeff Carter, President and CEO of Hyperion Technology. Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Tell us a little bit about your company. You're fairly new at this, aren't you?
Yeah, we started in November 2009. We're an engineering services company that provides custom engineering for industry, both commercial and industrial industry, academia, the U.S. government, and research type laboratories.
That's great. That's great. And you started here in the business incubator, the Renaissance Center for Ideas?
We did. We started in one fairly small room, and now we've grown to about 4,000 square feet here.
Wow, that's great. And it's been a fairly short period of time for that growth, right?
Yeah, about a little over a year and a half now, and started out with one employee. We're now up to 18 employees.
Great.
So.
Tell me a little bit, y'all spent a lot of time in business planning. I remember you came early in the process in about 2007 to investigate the Renaissance Center for Ideas and spent a lot of time in business planning before you actually launched. Tell me the value of that planning.
The planning was very important. We had a lot of concerns and issues we wanted to address ahead of time so that we didn't get caught on the backside after we started the business. We wanted to make sure we had all our ducks in a row, so to speak, both with financing and space and you know what it actually costs to get a business up and running.
Well, I know you work with technology advances in the university setting, both at Ole Miss and at Mississippi State. So was that a consideration, geography, when you made your location here at the Renaissance Center?
That was one of the considerations. We wanted to have equal or convenient access to both Ole Miss and Mississippi State. But also there's an industrial side to Tupelo that a lot of people don't realize, but we wanted to take advantage of that. One of the things we pride ourselves in is the ability to do quick turnaround prototyping, and having access to that industrial base that Tupelo has made it very easy for us to do that.
That would be like machine shops and technology companies and others that assist you as subcontractors on some of your projects.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Tell us about some of your projects, those that you can talk about. I know you've got some confidential work with the military, but you do have projects you can talk about.
Yeah, we've got several we consider them to be very exciting projects. One of them is a sniper detection system that we're building for the Army and Special Forces, and that system we're expecting that to be deployed overseas by the end of the year. We also recently licensed a technology from the University of Mississippi, the National Center for Physical Acoustics, and that is a sensor technology that has very exciting applications. And we've already received several orders for that, and we're building them and shipping them today. So.
Well, good. Well, good. Well, I know periodically there's a lot of buzz down here in this corner of Elizabeth and Maine because the storm chasers in town. You work with them also, don't you?
We do work with them. We've been working with them for a number of years, and that's probably some of our more popular work simply because of the exposure. But we do a lot of technology type work for not only Reed Timmer, who's probably the lead chaser on the show, but also Tim Samaras, he's probably the quietest person on the show, but he's the most scientifically oriented of the three stars of the show. And we've gotten to do a lot of work for both those groups, and most of our guys have been on the show, and we've all seen one or been in one or more tornadoes since we've worked with them. So
do people get hazardous duty pay for that when they go on a storm chasing?
No.
But you do have to field test your equipment, so I guess you're out there monitoring and making sure that it works the way you've designed it, right?
Yeah, a lot of it's testing and teaching those guys how to operate it so they can go out on their own and run it without us having to be there holding their hand.
Right now we are basically folding these test parachute probes to be launched with our air cannon system. And so you got to fold these up, and then we put them in. They have to be folded perfectly or else they'll get stuck. This is the cannon array. This was designed by Hyperion Technology Group. The engineers at Hyperion Technology Group work day and night for 72 hours to get these ready to go. And hopefully we'll get them inside a tornado tomorrow. It's going to be our part.
Here in the back we have the tank. The whole system right here. Those are the tubes. That's the brain of it.
Right now I'm loading these test parachute probes into our cannon, and then we're going to do some test launches before we head up to South Dakota. Basically, these things are going to be launched inside the Tornado. They'll be taken up inside the funnel, and we can actually track them on our laptop, just like Twister, but in a reality sense. You'll actually see these things floating around as we're driving.
What we have here is, this is the mission control center right here. Both lights are on. That means the system is charged, has full of air. It's the key to turn it on, and this is the red button to launch everything.
You've kind of bridged one of the most difficult things for an entrepreneur to do, and that is a lot of folks have a better idea for a better mousetrap, but being able to actually implement it and then run the company, you know, the cash flow, the accounting, the auditing, all the regulation. How have you been able to do that? What's been your secret?
You know, it's been a lot of work, but I think our best secret is the different types of talent that we've attracted. I've been involved with other companies that started up, and they had all electrical engineers or all mechanical engineers, and we've tried to attract a diverse group of talent, electrical engineers, mechanical engineers. We've got 2 machinists on staff, and by mixing the talent pool, we've been able to easily reach our goals by being able to spread the work out. As far as the accounting and the financial planning and all that, a lot of that I handled, especially early on. Mm-hmm. We recently hired an office manager, and she's taking a lot of the accounting duties off of me, which is a relief. By attracting, being able to attract and hiring the right talent is how we've been so successful so early on.
That's great. Let's talk about the Renaissance Center for a minute. Obviously, you've made that your home. You were very deliberate about where you wanted to launch and the capabilities the facility needed to have. Tell me a little bit about your thought process as you reviewed spaces across the region.
Well, and we looked all over North Mississippi, you know, Oxford, Starkville, Tupelo, several other places. And one of the biggest things that attracted us to the Renaissance Center for Ideas was that it had a combination of Class A office space and a place where we could house our machine shop. Mm-hmm. And again, that was one thing that we felt was important so we could handle some of these rapid turnaround projects that we'd like to do. And so that was one of the biggest attractions to this space. We could not find that anywhere else. And another thing was that, you know, knowing that being here, we would be working with CDF closely, and you guys would be helping us get started and introducing us to the right people and making sure we were headed down the right path. So.
Well, good. A lot of folks want to be entrepreneurs. I think it's one of the most popular things that happens in business is people get some skill and ability. They do find a better mousetrap and they'd like to go in business. What type of advice would you have for other entrepreneurs as they're looking at you as an example of someone who's been able to start successfully a venture?
Probably the first thing I'd say is it's probably not for everybody. I know a lot of people have the dream to own their own business. It's a tremendous amount of work, a tremendous amount of sleepless nights.
Typical 8 to 5, right?
No, well, 8 a.m. to 5 a.m. maybe, okay. But it's very long hours, a lot of work. But for somebody that feels like they're up to the challenge, talk to people, get mentors, get a portfolio of people that you can, if nothing else, just bounce ideas off of to make sure that, you know, somebody that doesn't have their heart invested in what you're trying to do is going to make sure you stay on a clear path. Mm-hmm. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Good advice. Good advice. Tell us a little bit about what the future holds for Hyperion Technology.
Well, we're growing. We're interviewing several people right now and hoping to make some hires within the next few weeks. We've Unfortunately, in the machine shop area, we've outgrown the space here at the Renaissance Center, and we're looking to possibly purchase a building and move and continue to grow. Ideally, we'd like to stay here forever, but there's only so much space that we can have. So.
Well, that is the nature of an incubator, is to get you on your feet, get you good positive cash flow, and find your niche in the marketplace, and then graduate you out. Although we hate to see you potentially go,
Yeah.
We'll always know that we had a chance to start you on your flight.
Yeah, but we are going to stay in Tupelo, so we'll be in this area.
Excellent. So it will generate jobs in the community that you began, which is one of the ideas of the Idea Center initially.
Yeah, exactly. And we're a lot of the work we do is more like work you'd find people do in Huntsville.
Mhm.
And it seems like every day somebody asks me, when are we going to pack up and move to Huntsville? And that's not in the plans for us. We started here in North Mississippi. We're going to stay in Tupelo and continue to grow our business here.
There's a lot of technology in this community that people really don't realize, just because it's behind closed doors in most of the factories and the businesses.
Yeah. There is a lot of technology here, and it's probably one of the best kept secrets.
Well, we've been talking today with Jeff Carter of Hyperion Technology, and wish him the best success in the future.